All right, Shalom. This is your brother Mayim coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, so this title reads, Bear Market Already Here, Brace for a 20% Stock Plunge. Now, for Akim that have been watching the economy as of late, we've seen some favorable trends happening. And to show you what I'm talking about, let me get this up. All right, see right now you got the Dow up 30-something points, but let's look at the month. Oh, that was actually let's look at the week. Let's take a look at the month, all right? And as you can see, the Dow Jones has been down considerably, all right? Going into last week, you can see that it was just heading straight downhill, leading almost to what, you can see. Let's see if we can mark that low point there. That was 23,921, it looks like. Yeah, that looks like it was the low that it hit. All right. So the Dow was getting really down. It was going all up with all the talks of with China, the trade going, with the trade with China after the G20 summit. All right. And also with the whole that whole phone company, I don't know how to pronounce it, Huawei or something like that. The economy's been stimulated a lot by that. All right, and also a bit of it that has to do with it is this the interest rates, which in that article, all right, this article here talks about it. All right, I'm not gonna read all of this. All right, and there's a few things in here. I did a video on this article right here. You see on the screen. Fed injecting monetary heroin into economy created biggest bubble ever. And that's from Peter Schiff. All right, that article is, I'm guessing what they did was an interview with the guy, Peter Schiff. All right, but you can see that a bear market, for you brothers that don't know what it means. Well, let me just pull it up here. All right, this is what bear market means. All right. It looks like it's not popping up. Let me see. Let me just type in what is bear market. All right, so a bear market it says a market in which prices are falling, encouraging selling. And with that happening, people selling their stocks, the companies, these Fortune 500 companies and these other companies out here, all right, they're having to pay out. So now that value of the stocks, because they're having so much of it back, is devaluing. So the value of their stocks are actually dropping, all right, which is what normally happens when a lot of people sell their stocks, all right. And you can see corporations like General Electric, all right, their stocks are low, all right. General Electric being a company that I believe had to get a bailout as of late. Here it is. You got GM, General Motors. So this economy isn't really looking good right now. And I want to show you, Akim, something. All right. I'm going to go to all. All right. And if you look here, all right, if you look at this area right here, where you see the marker at where it started dropping down, this says July 1st, 2007. And as you can see, it started going down. The worst being as of, looks like January 1st, 2009. That was the recession that we were in. That was the recession that we were in during that time, And what you had happening back then is the same thing that you have happening now. All right, you go into this point right here. You go here, Big drop off there. But this big decline here, all right, this was during that recession of basically of 2008. That's when it was the worst. Well, here it says 2009. All right, but if you look at the very top there, all right, even though, because you had that big incline, the economy going back up, so to speak, and now you're starting to see a drop off. All right, because what? Look, it got to a peak. Do you actually think that this economy is going to continue to go up? No, man. It's about to have that drastic collapse, and as you can see through time, it always went up. It went up. It went up. It had a decline. Then it went up. It went down. Then it went up, and then it had a real big down. All right, and guess what? It's about to happen again, man. The economy is going to have another good big hit, and this is going to be that big final hit, man. Okay? It's going to have that big final hit, and I want to show you something in the article. All right, this article here, before I get into the scripture, because, and every brother knows the scripture. All right, but let me get this is one I did a video on it before, but I just want to pull something up that was said in this article by that economist Peter Schiff. All right, it says here, these last two paragraphs, it says we have a bubble in real estate. All right, and what happened during that 2007 2009 recession? It was a bubble in the real estate, and that's what caused that big housing market, and it imploded in itself, and the economy crashed. All right, that was one of the biggest things that caused the economy to crash. And what do you have today? The exact same thing. All these people are buying homes with stupid low interest rates, some at 0% interest rate, or very low. All right, it says we have a bubble in stocks, and look what's happening right now, man. That bubble is starting to pop, man. People are selling their stocks because people are unsure of the economy. They're unsure if these businesses are gonna be able to keep running, man. Look at GM right now. GM is a big corporation here in America. General Motors, GE, another one, General Electric. Big corporations that are losing out on a lot of money, and people are selling their stocks. I believe I just read an article a couple days ago. GE, General Electric, they were selling their stock for a penny, man. They registered their stocks at a penny stocks, man. That's a penny a stock, man. And guess what? A lot of these companies are gonna be down there just along with General Electric, man. It says in bonds, and we have bubbles everywhere that all popped and the air is coming out. You see? So the air is starting to come out in this stock bubble right now. All right. It says, and the economy is in much more trouble. Schiff underlined that this time the Fed will not be able to bail anybody out. Exactly, because during that last recession, that major recession that we had, the Federal Reserve, the federal banks, all right, the government was able to ask them for money and they was able to give it. But guess what? This time around, they're not going to be able to do that. All right, because the dollar is going to be worth nothing. They're not going to be able to bail out nobody, man. It's going to be too big of a hole. And I believe they said this guy, Peter Schiff, all right, he says that in this article somewhere. All right, but let's continue to read. It says, there is no bigger bubble that the Fed can blow. This is it. And the Fed is done blowing bubbles. We now finally have to deal with the consequences. And because we kicked the can down the road for so many years, the consequences are much more severe. Exactly, says the market expert concludes. So this is it, man. The economy of America is getting ready to collapse. All right. And like you see here where it says read more in the blue letters, it says stock market in serious downward spiral and for very good reason. All right. Investment guru Jim Cramer. That was a quote from the guy. All right. And the market is in a serious downward spiral, man. All right. And you got a lot of factors that get into this. But, hey, just know that this economy is getting ready to crash. All right. And there's not going to be no coming back from that, man. All right. Let me get Everybody knows this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. It says, "And in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." And why are the grinders going to be few? All right, because the grinders represents the workers, all right, those putting in their work. It says, and the grinder cease because they are few, because these companies are not making that much money. Look at General Motors, all right? We looked at their stock. Let's go back to it. We looked at the General Motors stock, right? All right, let's go to the last month or so. And as you can see, look at this. You can see here November, right? December of last year. All right, this was a year ago. Just in 1 year, look how much they dropped off. Bam. To their lowest point being December 10th of this year. And look at the difference. Look at that big difference, man. What do you think they had to do when they start their company started losing money like this? And it wasn't that they were losing money to that extent where they wasn't making money, but people were selling their stocks because that they wasn't feeling confident anymore, man. And a lot of other aspects had to do with it because of what the tariffs that Donald Trump put up with China, right, on aluminum and steel, which GM purchases a lot of their aluminum and steel to make their cars from. Well, guess what happened? They ended up. Let's see if we can find the article. Let's see. Well, I mean, brothers should know. I don't see it here, but see, here you go. All right, so you see that their stock started going down, right? Well, look at this article. GM faces criticism after company announces layoffs and plant closures. You see, so this is why the grinders are going to be few, because these companies, all right, the companies are not going to be making that money no more, and Donald Trump isn't helping with those tariffs. Plus, you have all these other aspects such as fuel, the tariffs on Iran, all right, and future things that are to come. But look, what's going to happen is these companies are going to be forced to close plants, and they're going to be forced to lay people off. So going back to the scripture, it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Exactly. Because there's going to be very few people working, and they're going to be stuck at home, scared as hell, not knowing what they're going to do, wondering how they're going to feed their nagging ass wife and kids, and they're going to be in the lowest state, man. All right, verse 4 says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low," all right, because those businesses are closing. "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Exactly, man. All right. So it's getting ready to be a time when this economy is getting ready to come crashing down, man. All right. We just looked at the stocks, okay, and we looked at all that information and all those things. So that's what's getting ready to come, man. So so it's not something that's too far fetched. It's happening before your very eyes, man. So with that, Lord willing, you brothers are edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, brothers, I say Shalom.